Hello, Rob from Fountain Pen Journey with a review of the Sailor Lecoule Rose Quartz. Now, the Sailor Lecoule is one of those. It's one of these understated, cheap fountain pens from Sailor. I believe it's probably the cheapest fountain pen that they do, and it seems to be available anyway in the UK. And I love it. I was swayed by other reviewers who said no, the Sailor Lecoule does not write well. Well, I've got several of these fountain pens and I believe that they do write well. In fact, they write way nicer than so many other fountain pens, especially some of the real cheapos from China. So, you know, these are inexpensive Japanese fountain pens with Sailor nibs, steel nibs, and of course they're only available in fine, which is a Japanese fine, but I love them. I think they're really good writers because I've never been a fine nib fountain pen fan, but having used a lot of fine nibs from, say, Pen BBS, etc., Moonman especially, you use one of these Japanese fines and it's a world of difference. It really is, and we'll talk about that at the during the writing sample towards the end of this video. We're going to look over the parts of this pen to begin with, because it is quite a short fountain pen. I would never say it's quite a pocket pen, but it's not really that far off. I'll show you why, because it's pretty short. The rose quartz in this colour is not really coming out particularly interesting. I'm using natural daylight here and it is quite blue. I will just see if I can try to turn on the flash. No, don't know whether that's going to work. Probably not, no. I don't think you're going to get much out of it, but here we are. Sailor Lecoule short fountain pen. Now, Sailor has released these in various colours, and the Sailor Lecoule that you can buy here in the UK from pen retailers online, certainly, they seem to come in these gemstone colours. There's the Sailor Lecoule Garnet. This is the Rose Quartz colour. There are a few other ones, and they all have this theme of gemstones in common, which I think is quite nice. It's not the first time I've seen gemstone themed fountain pens. Certainly Pelikan Edelstein with their inks as well, Lamy with a lot of their fountain pens and inks, and you know, there's plenty of, I don't know, gemstone and fountain pen association, which is no bad thing. And I think Sailor has completely nailed it with this Rose Quartz. I'm going to show you this fountain pen in really, really nice light, because it is ever so slightly, very subtly sparkly. And I will compare it to some Rose Quartz. In fact, I have a Rose Quartz tumblestone borrowed from my wife here. And the colour is, it's a very, in fact, it's an excellent match. When I first got this pen out of the box, I thought, yeah, nailed it. It is Rose Quartz. It's a really, really good match. So there's a Rose Quartz tumblestone. Nice pink variety of quartz. Obviously, this is polished. Rose Quartz is a massive variety of quartz, or quartzite. It's a huge, found in huge boulders, I think in Brazil especially, and it's basically milky quartz coloured with, I think, a bit of iron, maybe, something like that, which creates this pink colour. And the pen is definitely a pink colour. So pop the tumblestone back up there and let's have a look at the pen. Now, I have reviewed the Sailor Lecoule before, and it is a short fountain pen. It is not long, but it posts, and it is designed to be written with posted. So up at the top we've got a slightly domed, I mean it's mainly flat, to be honest, mainly flat finial with this silver ring, silver clip that goes quite a way down the cap, and the clip is very functional. Down towards the cap band we have Lecoule and Sailor Japan on the other side. Silver cap band, nice to see that at the bottom of the cap. The pen does taper down, and there is another silver ring and a finial down there. And close up you can't really see, focus has gone all weird, can't really see any of those sparkly inclusions in this sort of light. And that's probably a good thing, because if this was a really pink, really pale pink, sparkly fountain pen, some people might just go, ooh, too much. Unscrew the cap. I shall just do my obligatory standard of how many turns? 1 turn, 2 turns, so it's just about, it's about 2 1/4 turns, and the section is relatively short, same colour as the material as the rest of the fountain pen, black plastic feed, fine Sailor nib, steel nib, and as you can see it is quite short relatively. I actually find it a comfortable fountain pen to write with unposted. I don't generally write with my pens posted, and I was a little bit uncertain as to whether I'd like it, but quite often, because I am have such a habit of just holding the cap in my hand while I write, I've written with this pen for hours, and oh yeah, I haven't actually bothered to even post the cap, so it's not too short as to be unusable. It takes Sailor proprietary cartridges and the converter that you can see installed there, which is an additional extra. Usually, it seems to be anyway, whenever you buy these from the UK retailers, so I found anyway. And let's have a look at this pen now. I shall show you the posting. As you can see, it's really quite deep, very secure. I mean, no pressure at all, and that is well on there. And you've got a really good size fountain pen. There is no back weighting. It's very, very comfortable, posts easily, quickly. You can't ask for more. So if you were of the opinion that this was too short to write with, which for me it isn't, with my grubby masculine hands, yeah, it's a very nice, comfortable pen to write with. So how does this pen actually write? Well, I shall show you, and I've got a nice pink ink in here as well. So I'm using my Rhodia pad. I'll write with it unposted to begin with, so you can get an impression of how it writes. Sailor Lecoule Rose Quartz. With a fine steel Sailor nib, so therefore it is bordering on fine to extra fine. Shall now do the writing sample posted. And there is feedback. It's a Sailor nib, and it's one of these things, the brand is renowned for their nibs having a bit of feedback, but there is absolutely zero scratchiness. Japanese fine nib, it's wonderful to write with. It doesn't sort of make me go, ugh. It's scratchy, depending on where you rotate the nib as well. There is nothing wrong with this at all. If I did this with a Moonman nib or a Pen BBS nib, at some point in this clock of, there would be some point where I just go, no, it doesn't write well in, say, that direction. No, this is an excellent nib. and I shall show you one of the other things that I like about this. Bearing in mind we're talking about Japanese fine nib, it's really quite wet, and it lays down the ink, and there are absolutely zero flow issues whatsoever. And I'll tell you another thing about this: cartridges or converters, these nibs, even though they are wet, they're very economical with the ink. I mean, I've written for days, and well, not days, hours and hours, day after day with this pen. Refilled it a few times, and it's astonishing how long a fill or an ink cartridge will last in one of these pens. Brilliant, even though they're wet. I mean, it lays down ink really well, but it's wet. It's great, absolutely fantastic. Reverse writing, smooth. I've completely spelt writing wrong, but you're getting the picture, and it is an extra, almost extra fine, I'd say. And the ink flow keeps up, and it is mightily smooth. I've actually used, if you like, Western nibs, and they're not as smooth as this in the normal writing orientation. It's brilliant. So the Sailor Lecoule, yet another one of these, excellent nib, really happy with it. The ink, for those of you who are really liking the pink theme, this is a Diamine ink. It's Diamine Cerise, which is a lovely ink. So there you have it, the Sailor Lecoule Rose Quartz. Now, before I go, I'm actually going to shoot another video of the body of this fountain pen so that you can see the colour in good light, and that will illustrate the sparkly inclusions in this, because they really are very subtle, but they are there, and in good light it looks brilliant. It looks really nice. So don't just skip onto the next video now, because it's worth just hanging around for that. So I shall see you in a moment. Okay, so I have brought along this rose quartz tumblestone just to illustrate the pinkness of the Sailor Lecoule Rose Quartz in sunlight, which, as you can see, I mean, the colour match is brilliant. It really is rose quartz coloured. So let's just have a brief look at the actual pen in really good sunlight. Focus isn't quite right, but with a bit of luck you may be there we go. You can see these sparkly inclusions, which are not big. It's not big bits of glitter. It is extremely subtle, really fine inclusions, which they're not silver, they are, I suppose, the same colour as the body of the pen. It's a really nice sparkly background, motorbike going past, thanks very much. Really attractive, pretty pen, but not over the top. So there we have it, the Sailor Lecoule Rose Quartz. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye.